Hello guys, welcome to Ken Kakai KK YouTube channel. If you are watching this video for the first time, remember to subscribe. Remember to also like and also share. I've said remember to subscribe, like, and then share, because sharing is caring. So we want to have a continued discussion because we had released an introductory video about the mental health and what we are going to discuss. So today we are basically going to look at the definition, the causes, how we're going to prevent it, complications, and lastly the risk factors. So irrespective of the random notes that I've highlighted, I will begin with them in a systematic manner together. So to just give a general overview, because what we are giving here is not the detailed information about mental health, but we are giving a general overview, because our society nowadays is having such an issue. Or maybe if we are having a client or we're having family members who are acting some time in a manner likely not to be understood by fellow members. So I thought it's good to share this information, because they say knowledge is power, and with this power that I'm going to share with you, we are going to help our community we are living in. So to begin with, mental health is a state of emotionally functioning well of an individual. That's in terms of how one perceives him or herself, in terms of the mood and the behavior. And also, to just add on, this will also include the achievement one is going to attain. So you'll find that most of the people, when he or she does not achieve a certain goal, it will bring him low. That is, it will bring something called low self-esteem, making this person not to think properly. Or maybe if this person had some certain types of effort, like he used to keep coming time on work, he used, maybe when you're having an appointment with them, they keep time. Now when it reaches a point when that achievement is not being met, these people begin to react or to behave abnormally, as our CS has always told us that if you're not being normally, or if you're not acting normally and you start acting abnormally, that is to mean there are some changes that have occurred along the way. So, and of great importance, when we are talking about emotions are a critical part of our human being. That's why they say it's not good to play with people's emotion. It's always just to always find a way to live in harmony with the people, because when some emotions are being triggered, they bring memories that are not pleasant to some people. So always be careful when you are talking to people, how you are using those words. Always mind the language you are using. Always mind the person you are talking to. If the person is not of your level, there's that approach. That's why you have they say the hierarchy. And this here is the hierarchy, that's the protocol. If someone has come to your village and is of higher I think designation, that's the dignity of that person. If in terms of rank that person is above you, there's a way you're going to address. Simply because they say a person like His Excellency the President has come to your village. You know that village where you come from, the president has come to your village, and then you are invited upon to come and give your speech. And in your speech, you start by saying, villagers present, Kenyans present, and then you forget to mention His Excellency the President. Along a long way, people will feel like you never recognize the president. So it's always good not to invoke emotions of people. And that's why I began by saying that when emotions are being evoked, there are different reactions that people are going to act. Are we together? So on this condition, or about this condition, when certain things start happening, it is an eye opener that when a certain person behaves with this, so to you, you know that as I had watched a video somewhere, this is what this client or this friend of mine is trying to suggest. Are we together in this? So on the definition, you can have so many definitions, but the keywords here is about the emotions. So when we are coming about the causes are mainly classified into 4 causes, and in each cause I'll try to give a statement about, and a statement just means a little bit of explanation on how you can recognize such. By so saying, the first cause of the mental health issue, we have hormonal cause. Under the hormonal cause, this specifically given an example maybe during pregnancy. And we all know that during pregnancy, there's that hormonal changes in our ladies, and they make them sometimes feel attracted to some people, or sometimes it makes people to like certain foods. I think it is evident to all of us. And also you can find that after pregnancy, if not well managed, some people can end up with a condition known as puerperal psychosis. That's why, as they say, any person who becomes ill, it's always good to give them a holistic type of care. Holistic, that is to include the general care, coming all the way from the economic state of way of life, the social way of life, the spiritual way of life, the financial way of life. So that's economic means everything that can make one to be satisfied with his own achievement. So when a patient or a client or any person is handled in an inhumane way, it will make them to develop a mental health issue. So to prevent such, we're going to talk. We'll talk about the prevention later. So another cause number 2, we're talking about the brain chemistry. The brain chemistry. This is where we're talking about the neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitters in our body that help to relay some information to different parts of the body. So these neurotransmitters, when one is happy, they will send the signals. When one is sad, they also send the signal. So in this mental state issue, we find that this person is always sad. So when they are sad, there is that signal being sent by the neurotransmitters. So it's always very good to also mind on the type of food we are taking and the environment we are being, because sometimes the environment can provoke you to act in a certain manner. That's about the brain chemistry. Another cause is about the biological differences. So the biological differences, these are specifically in the physical changes of the brain. So when one has, let's say for example, one has a tumor in the brain, so the tumor will slow the thinking capacity of a person, hence making a person to have a memory loss. So when one is having a memory loss, that one will be attributed to biological difference, because there have been the physical changes in the brain. Are we together? And lastly, we have the inherited traits. These are something that will run down generations. So, and something that is inherited, it cannot be changed, it cannot be altered. It will just go down in all generations. So, and those are the mainly 4 causes of mental health. I know it is a wide topic. That's why I'm trying my level best to narrow down to some specific causes so that we can get to understand what it all entails. I know there are some other courses, but this one that I've talked about or that I've discussed, their importance, and you can also add others as we continue, because they say the knowledge you're having is dynamic. So sometime with the ongoing studies, the recommendations that can be added to the study as we continue analyzing. So those are the causes. And when we come to the signs and symptoms, the signs and symptoms are very obvious. Number one, you find this person is always sad. So when you find a sad person, the first thing you have to question yourself that after watching a certain clip, the presenter was saying, when you meet someone is sad, what comes to your mind? Is it a mental issue? Yes, it is. So find out the cause. And then the prevention or the management is also good to find out the cause. That's why history taking is very key. Who hurt you? What did you drink that has led on to this? So we have said the first symptom is sadness. You have angry outbursts. Angry outbursts, this is where you are talking to a friend or a relative or a comrade. Maybe you are asking, how did you sleep yesterday? Or how was your night? And he or she responds by saying, it doesn't bother you. You are getting. So the interrelationship or during the feedback, you are not communicating because you are asking in a polite way, but the way you are getting the feedback or the answer, they are not correlating well with the question being asked. So those angry outbursts is a sign of a mental issue. So another thing, you have the feeling of isolation, or some people just want to be isolated. Well, you're having maybe a meeting somewhere. You have said that all people by 8 a.m. everybody should be settled. But when it comes 8, or the person who was to be the presenter, everybody is seated, but the presenter himself or herself is not present. So that is also another sign that that person is having a mental issue. And when you find out, maybe they will tell you, oh, yesterday I lost a friend, or yesterday I had an accident, or they will give those excuses, and those excuses are very genuine. So when you hear of such, just know that that is a mental issue, and there's also a way to address it. And at the end of the clip, I think you'll also have benefited on the ways of managing such. Another thing, another symptom of mental health, there is, I talked about isolation, I talked about sadness, I talked about anger outburst, and also low self-esteem. So low self-esteem. So another symptom is an unexplained physical process such as headache. These people, when they wake up or maybe after performing a certain task, they feel headache or they have headache. So they will report to you that I've been doing this and this, or I've received a certain information, but the way I'm feeling low. So automatically, the first thing to think about is about the mental health issue. And the last symptom is the disturbed sleep. So you find that this person, during when it comes late in the night, they do not sleep totally at night. They think a lot, or when they think, or when they sleep, they oversleep. They sleep too much. Maybe this person is always alarmed, or he or she has always been waking up at 6. But you find that day, because of the stress and everything, the person will wake up maybe at around 10 or 11, which according to us or according to him is not the usual time he or she has always been waking up. So those are some of the the symptoms of a mental health person. I know there are many others, but you can add so that we can continue doing what? Engaging. So we want also to look at the risk factors. A person who you wish, or a person whom we wish, or a person whom we want to identify having a mental health issue. What are some of the risk factors of this person? One, traumatic or stressful events. This to include maybe a person has been involved in a road accident, loss of a loved one, maybe a parent, a guardian, a cousin, maybe I've been paying for your school fees, or a sponsor. And a sponsor, in this case, someone maybe who has been sponsoring your studies, or have been having a project, and the person who has been sponsoring your project is no longer there, or you have differed or parted ways, or the contract has come to an end without renewal. So those are some of the things that can risk the person to have a mental health problem. Another thing, alcoholism is a risk factor. So this one is a free advice to those people who use alcohol. Some people use alcohol because of stress. And as we all know that when you drink or when you take alcohol, it will alter your body functioning. That's why there's that part of the brain when you drink, in terms of movements, they will change. So when they change, it means you are no longer in the sober way. You are no longer sober. You are no longer normal. And by so walking in a staggering manner, you are acting abnormally, as the CS file has always told us. So another risk factor is the personality trait. So these people who are having low self-esteem, these people are always pessimistic, these people are always wishing the worst to come on their way, they have a high chance of getting a mental health problem. So it's always good to identify the risk factors and also learn how to manage. I know we are in a period where financial issues is a problem. It is cutting across from all sectors, from the teaching fraternity, the medical fraternity, the informal sectors, the industrial areas, the transport sector, because we had a time where they were saying a vehicle 14 passenger seater should carry 7 people. So you find that in terms of the economy, there are no profits as pertains the business. And also other stressful events, like those people who are on medication altogether, people who are on, maybe let's say the people who are diagnosed with hypertension, that's another risk factor, because it makes them to think that with this condition one day ever come to heal, so that they can return to their normal life. That's also a risk factor. So those are some of the risk factors that we have highlighted. I know there are many more others, but to point out just about a few for our discussion today, those are some that I can highlight. And also, when we are talking about the complication, we have the physical illness. Physical illness, this can be, when I've talked about stroke that's affecting body structure. So there will be physical illness. When we don't have money, it can bring to suicidal feelings. That's also a complication. People who feel like, I better kill myself so that I cannot continue suffering on this world. But there's a way we can do it, we can manage it. Because killing yourself is not a solution. And the solution is sharing with people, with those who are close to you. That's why they say, at least have that close friend. When the worst comes to the worst, you can always lean on him or her. Another complication is about Social isolation. There are people, maybe after losing a parent, they feel like they will never have that parental love again. So they always keep everything to themselves. They become introverts. So anything that happens to them, they will never share with their colleague. So it's always good to share. These are some of the complications. And lastly, we want to look at the prevention. And under the prevention is wide. Just identify a symptom like sadness. How can you prevent, or how can you overcome sadness? Angry outburst. How can you overcome angry outbursts? Like lack of sleep. How can you, or like sleeping too much? How can you overcome such? And the best way to manage such a condition, one is good to follow the steps. Identify the problem early. Go and see a physician. All over the country, we have all the county hospitals and the sub-county hospitals, even up to the dispensary levels. These facilities are used to identify such condition. So when you go to any health facility and they identify such a condition, you will be referred to the respective facility where that type of care will be given to you. Or if it is just a minor issue, you'll be talked to, then you will be given the guiding and counseling, because of the guiding and counseling in each and every department. Are we together? And also under the prevention, early treatment. Early treatment. Now, when you are in those facilities and then they identify that you're always sad, that those drugs, we call them the mood stabilizers, you'll be given. After being given, they will stabilize your mood as you go by. So we say long-term treatment is the best. Like financial issues, I know all of us are undergoing through the same condition. So let's also always give our best. The little money we are having, let's save, because we don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow is unpredictable. Those who are working, always save. Those in the informal sector, always give your best. When you get an opportunity, always utilize that opportunity, because the same opportunity you're misusing, someone somewhere is praying to be given that opportunity. Thank you for now and have a blessed day. Welcome.